Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and I'm here to review El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. And I remember hearing on social media when this movie got confirmed by Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston and getting super excited. I've only watched Breaking Bad within the past year or so it's obviously really fresh for me, so I haven't had to wait how many years for this movie to come out. And I've been recently this year really watching Better Call Saul and absolutely love that show. So I was excited to get to see what happens to Jesse Pinkman at the end of Breaking Bad. And I don't want to get into spoilers, obviously, so if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, you probably shouldn't be seeing this movie to begin with, because it will spoil a lot, and it picks up literally where the show ends. So it's kind of like, you probably shouldn't watch this video either if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, but it is what it is. But this film is written, directed by Vince Gilligan, who is the creator of the show, and this film was fantastic. Honestly, it was one of the best Netflix films I've watched in a while. I'm glad Netflix stood up and took control and actually made sure this film got made. Which, that's what I appreciate about Netflix. Like The Irishman and this. They'll go out on a limb on something like this and make sure it gets made. Not a huge fan of the films that they originally conceive and try to put into motion. Or when they just buy films like Cloverfield, what was it, Cloverfield Paradox? Whatever the hell it was. Which the studio knew was going to be horrible, so they just sold it to Netflix and they dropped it right after the Super Bowl. But the thing is, Netflix picked this up and this is a thing. And I'm glad it's a thing. Did it need to be a thing? Not necessarily, but am I happy that it is? Absolutely. Because this film picks up not only where the story of the show ends, but also picks right up with the tone. And this feels like a continuation of the show in its tone and in the tension, because Breaking Bad is amazing in how it creates tension. And this film does the same thing. And you really get some closure in terms of the story of Jesse Pinkman. And yes, there's some fan service, there's some scenes where they bring back some classic characters from the show, and Jonathan Banks and Bryan Cranston recur in it, but they don't feel like just tacked in flashbacks. They feel meaningful because they help build where Jesse Pinkman is at this point in his life and fleshing that out. And narratively, it works, and it's meaningful. And you see how Jesse got to this point, because if you've watched the last season of Breaking Bad, you don't get to see as much of what's going on with Jesse and his transformation towards the end of the show, but this film fleshes that out, and you get some very interesting, tense moments. And Aaron Paul's amazing in this film. He absolutely owns this film. And no matter if it's just a scene with Jonathan Banks or Bryan Cranston, they're great. Jesse Plemons picking up where he left off in the show as well. And having Skinny and Badger popping back up again, and some really poignant scenes with Robert Forster and his character who was introduced in the last season, which is really sad as he's passed away this weekend, literally the weekend that this film came out. But it's a really impressive film, and it works on so many different levels, and it's a complex story, it's layered, it incorporates flashbacks and side narrative, and you're really getting a lot out of this character, and finally getting closure to a character that a lot of fans are like, what happened? Now you know what happens. And it's a powerful kind of epilogue to the show, and I really loved it. And I feel like most fans of this show are going to love it. Obviously, if you didn't watch the show, this isn't going to be meaningful to you in any way. Like, there's some tense moments, and I guess you could watch it in terms of the thrills, but this is really for Breaking Bad fans. So if you're a Breaking Bad fan, go check this out on Netflix. Let me know what you think, and let's talk about this film. But thank you as always for supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.